You're listening to The Drew Yari Show. Drive!
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Wednesday, and you're here for another episode of Wednesday Night Yari. I'm the host, Drew, and with me, as always, that's your cue.
Me. It's Justin here. I am a little bit under the weather today, not gonna lie, but
Oh, man.
I'm actually getting over it, so I'm feeling a lot better. But yeah,
Did you get
too
the
bit cold.
you just got like a simple cold?
Yeah.
Did you get tested?
That?
Did you get the test?
No. Like I know my body. Like it wasn't that, and I didn't have the symptoms of it either. It was really just like a sore throat, and like that was pretty much it. You know what I mean?
All right, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, I'm okay though.
Hold on. I just got a message in the chat. Hold on. Mish, can't wait to hear you defend She-Hulk. Oh, I'm going to defend it. But we're not talking about She-Hulk tonight. Mish, if you ever want to talk She-Hulk or Marvel, get at your boy. Let's do a show. I'd love to debate you, Mish. But we got a nice little show tonight. The gods. I'm not a very religious person, but I can recognize when there's a miracle. And we have some interesting tidbits to talk about. So, before we get to the PWI, well, it's not the full 500, but I got the top 30, so we can do the top 30 if you want.
Yeah.
I got this little message from a good friend of I'm gonna say the good friend of the show. Let's just call him that.
All right.
Is this thing on? Is this thing on or something? Okay, so let me explain something to everybody. First of all, to everyone who has sent their well wishes and their respects and their love toward me, I just want to say thank you very much, because I love you all and I appreciate you all, and the support means the world to me, okay? And God works in amazing ways, okay? Let me tell you this. I'm trying to help my old man out on a computer, and I just type in WWE, right? Tell me why. The first thing I see is EC3 has talked to the dirt sheets. I guess since I'm on now, I'm somebody again. EC3 has gone to the dirt sheets saying that, if you haven't seen it, he had a party at his house one night. And if I'm to be correct, this was about 2017, 2018 EC3. And I'm not going to tell people who was at this party out of respect for our mutual friends. But one of our mutual friends is a former NXT talent that no longer works for the WWE. And the other person is a current Monday Night Raw talent who used to wrestle talent for NXT. Okay? Mike, EC3, you go out here after I give you the best match you've ever had in your entire career. You go out here and you dirt. I'm tired of people throwing dirt on my name. You throw this dirt on my name saying that I tried to record you in your bathroom. Let's be honest, Mike. You're leaving out a lot of details. What were we doing that night, Mike? What type of powder was on the table, Mike? Okay? Okay, let's be real. So let's not leave out all the details. We were all drunk. You were pissy drunk because you were in your place. You were damn near passed out in the corner. You and your homegirl, whichever chick you were screwing at the time, okay? and the other two people, our mutual friends, were there. I left my phone on your bathroom counter, and because you were not sure of my sexuality at the time because of the character I played on TV and because we're not friends in real life at all, okay? You try to accuse me of recording you in your own home. So what did I do? I went to our mutual friend who no longer works for the WWA, former NXT talent, and I showed him my phone and had him go through my photos and videos and my recently deleted, just to prove to you and the other person that was there, who, because I respect him and he has a job, okay, I'm not going to put him out there, okay, I had him prove to you that I was not recording you. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, EC3. Get your shit together. And if anyone would like to go to my friends list right now and check out who follows me, because I'm not following him, EC3 is a follower. I would really think that if you thought that much of me, that you couldn't trust me, you definitely wouldn't be following me on social media, on Instagram, all these years later, EC3. You're pathetic. Now control that narrative, you asshole. How the hell you turn this shit off?
Wow.
The Velveteen Dream will sound like me in about 30 years from now. Like I need to turn off this goddamn thing. Like, yeah. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I was actually there watching it live because you know you get those notifications on your phone,
Right.
When someone. So I was like, Velveteen Dream. I was like, oh my god. I was like, let me see what this guy has to say, what this fucker has to say. Oh, nevertheless, it was about EC3 and basically him and me. Hey, we were doing cocaine, at a party. So find that very, very, very interesting, but yet funny at the same time. It was hilarious.
That's actually my first time watching it because when I saw the video up, because I still follow him, Patrick, and I'm surprised I still do, but like I'm glad I did because of that video. I was like, you know what, I gotta save that for the show because this is gonna be too good to not watch live. But that's interesting. I mean, do we believe, Velveteen Dream? I mean, I'm not trying to, I don't know, but that's just kind of funny.
I mean, to me, what does he have to lose on, like, lying? You know what I mean? At
this point, yeah, it's just like, he's never gonna come back to WWE, he's never gonna hire him. No other company is ever gonna hire him. So it's just like, he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna, like, he's in Ultimate Warrior mode now. Like, that's...
Warrior did come back. I mean, when he was like in his 60s, but he came back.
Right. So, I don't know. Like, he's at this point where he's just gonna, like, call... He doesn't seem like he's bitter about being fired. Maybe like a Warrior. I mean, you never heard him say anything bad about Triple H or Shawn Michaels or literally anyone else. I mean, because he even said
he believed that he'd still come back. That's why he's not gonna shit on, HBK or Triple H. He still believes that he can come back. And crazier things that happen in wrestling, like a lot of people are like, oh, Velveteen Dream, he's not gonna get a chance anymore. I don't want to see him back. He's been to jail and he's been arrested. Well, okay. Well, can we have the same energy for Jeff Hardy? Like, can we have that same energy for other guys like that? I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair, right? Now, I don't want to see him back, right? Like, right. I'm not vouching him to come back, but what I'm saying is let's have that same energy, right? Because Jeff Hardy, like, how many episodes did he have? He had an episode in, I believe, like in 2002, 2003. He had an episode in like 2008, 2009, then Victory Road 2011, right? You know what I mean? So like, and he had, this year as well. So like, it's happened with them more times than Velveteen Dream. And Velveteen Dream is mostly about, he's getting arrested. Yeah, it's drugs, right? But we don't know what kind of drugs it is, right? We don't know if it's just marijuana, right? Which is
it's cocaine. What was it? The news that came out where he got pulled over and he was literally snorting cocaine. Like right when the cops are pulling him over.
So so there's that. All right, a party, clearly drunk or high on pills or whatever the case may be as well. So and I'm pretty sure there's been other instances in wrestling history as well, like Jake the Snake Roberts, right? But that's an older time. Like, you can't really compare that. Like, British Bulldog doing crack the night before SummerSlam '92, right? Or Kerry Von Erich, you know what I mean? Doing coke and crack, before his match against Jerry Lawler with that AWA Memphis Clash show, wherever. Not AWA. Yeah, it was AWA, like Super Clash, like 3 or whatever it is. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't want to see him back, but I'm just saying that, there's some other people out there, they're like, oh, I don't want to see Velveteen Dream back. What about Jeff Hardy? Well, that's different. Well, no, to me, it's not the same.
I think if I had to pick a difference, it's more so what they're being accused of. With Jeff, I agree. I think, because when Jeff got let go from WWE, the story was that, they wanted him to go to rehab and he said no. And, clearly WWE is right, but, that's beside the point. Well, yes and no. So, he refused rehab, and now you see why. And I was on the team of, I think Jeff needs to just stay the fuck away from wrestling and just go home. Go home and be with his family. Find another hobby. I don't know, do something that isn't wrestling. Whereas Velveteen Dream was being accused of being a pedophile. So I think
which ended up being, well, according to what happened, not true, right?
Right.
It wasn't proved, without reasonable doubt that he's a pedophile, right? So I'm not saying that he doesn't have those tendencies, right? But like, is it innocent until proven guilty or guilty until proven innocent? But I think his, and another thing too, he was like a dick backstage and all that stuff too, but a lot of people were too. So like, you got people like Jeff Hardy, you have people, who are complete assholes backstage as well, that got second chances, third chances. Yeah, I mean, if Velveteen Dream, like, let's say he cleans up, let's say 2 or 3 years from now, like, he's cleaned up, he's showing, a great character, and, he's in phenomenal shape, best shape of his life. Who's to say that he doesn't get that chance? Because he's still young enough. I mean, he's still in his 20s. He's not even I think he's 26 maybe?
I think he's 20 something, because
he's 27 years old.
Okay, I mean,
he just turned 27.
I don't know, I was I guess I was one of the few that actually defended him, because it's just like you said, it came out and there wasn't, he never went to court, no police reports were filed, and it's just like, but we live it. Well, of course, it's like you said, guilty until proven innocent. Even God himself can come down and say this man's innocent. You're still gonna have people saying, "No, I don't believe it. He did it. He did it somehow." It's like, really?
Just like Enzo,
right? And that was
got fired for no.
That was bullshit. That was basically an example of the company looking for a reason to fire him because they didn't like him.
Exactly. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this. I mean, I'm pretty sure SAP has already picked up on this already. Pretty sure that Kotalik's gonna make a video on this tomorrow and all that stuff. People are gonna give their thoughts, and but at the end of the day, I mean, EC3. I mean, I never was really too high on EC3 anyway as a talent. I mean, he has a good mic presence. He has a good look or whatnot. But I didn't think he had no substance to him. Velveteen Dream, we'll see. We'll see if he cleans up. If he still wants to do wrestling, I mean, who's to say that he can't come back? But as of right now, I wouldn't bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, just once you're accused of that, especially in this era, you are kind of fucked. Anything involving, kids, anything involving the R word, rape, that's hard to come back from. You almost never do come back from, especially in the era we live in. Ever since Me Too happened, Me Too did good things for the world. It got rid of the creeps in the world that use their power to bully people and manipulate people and hurt people. But then it also became a thing of like where you had the not just women, men did it too, where you would try to accuse others of being inappropriate, but you're just doing it just so you can capitalize on what was going on. So, that's another conversation in itself. We're not really here to talk about that, but I mean, I agree with you. Like, if he kind of stays out of trouble, who's to say he won't come back in another 3 years? I mean, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. Other news tidbits. Well, not really any news, but like, did you watch NXT last night?
Absolutely.
I was out, but I watched the main event. The main event originally was going to be Carmelo Hayes versus Wes Lee, but that ended up changing to Solo Sikoa, I guess, making his return to NXT to challenge Carmelo Hayes for the North American Championship in a pretty good match. I liked it. I mean, those two seem to match up pretty well. And Solo Sikoa is now the new North American champion, which I don't know how that's going to work. I mean, let me take that back. Let me run that back. So, I mean, I think it could work, obviously. I mean, because now Solo Sikoa is on the main rosters with the Bloodline. It could be a thing of Roman, Solo can say, Roman told me to go back to NXT because I have unfinished business and to get that gold. Like, you can easily do that. Like, it could be the thing of, like, the Bloodline is running the whole company, not just SmackDown and Raw, but also NXT. So you can easily do that. But what do you think this means for NXT and the main roster?
I mean, we've seen this before where, guys who were called up to NXT called up from NXT and was on the main roster, like Kevin Owens, right? Kevin Owens was the NXT champion, doing double duty in NXT and on the main roster before he stayed on the main roster. So we've seen this before. You know what I mean? Not recently, but we have seen this before. You know what I mean? Really what this is, I think this is just gonna advance the story with the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. Because it's gonna come to a point where it's like, everyone has gold but you, Sammy. Why do we need you? You know what I mean? And eventually that's gonna, have Sammy turn babyface officially and pair up with Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens still has a thing for Roman Reigns, saying that Roman Reigns still owes him one, right? So I think it's a good thing across the board, because obviously, Triple H, he wants to make NXT again a third brand, not a developmental brand, but a third brand, right? It's gonna be some time before it gets back up to that point, but I think this is just making Solo Sikoa more of a dependable star, in that, okay, hey, you're gonna do double duty, you know what I mean? If you do double duty, you know what I mean, just keep going, towing the line or whatnot. And I promise you, things will be better once you become a mainstay on the main roster. So I think it's positive things across the board. I mean, it advances the story with the Bloodline, right? You get to see the North American Championship on the main roster TV, and this gets people like who are not familiar with that championship. Like some of the super casuals are like, oh man, that's a cool looking championship. Well, oh, that's on NXT. Oh, I heard about that. And they may end up checking out NXT because they're going to end up promoting NXT. Solo Sikoa is going to be going up against whoever, right? Carmelo Hayes, whoever, right? And from there, they'll get a little bit more familiar with the NXT roster. And, and just once those NXT guys come up to the main roster, it makes it more seamless. So I think overall it's pretty good, I think.
You brought up an interesting point that, eventually this is going to lead to Sammy being booted out of the Bloodline and him teaming up with Kevin Owens. Yeah. And the idea is that the Bloodline could be like, we all got gold, but you, Sammy. Like, what if Sammy goes to NXT and tries to go after Braun Breaker? Like that would be pretty fucking interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be pretty cool. I mean, obviously he'll fail, right? But like having Sammy on NXT doing a match with Braun Breaker, that'll be pretty cool. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing that, right? As long as it advances, as long as it will do two things. It will make Braun Breaker more of a star and Braun Breaker more, and also advance the story with the Bloodline as well. I see no issue with that. I think that'll be pretty good. So But also with NXT, they're doing tapes tonight.
Your microphone's breaking up, man.
I'm sorry. I was saying that speaking of NXT, NXT is doing tapings tonight as well, apparently. So
Really?
it's got to be pretty interesting on what comes out of that.
Speaking of NXT, we'll flash forward. So after NXT was done, yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of 2.0. And at the end of the show, they showed a graphic where they showed the 2.0 logo and evolving into the what looks like the old NXT black and white logo or black and gold logo, but I guess with a little bit of a spin on it. So this, caused it's caused a stir in the wrestling community where people are thinking, "Oh shit, Triple H is bringing back black and gold. It's going to be the way it used to be." Blah blah blah. Like, I thought that was interesting. Because I'll be honest, I haven't been a big fan of 2.0. I mean, the talent's there. The Breakers, the Hayes, the Toxic Attractions. I like, black and gold. I liked it. I thought it was cool. That was the kind of shit I would enjoy. And I get why they had to end it because, Vince was like, I can't put Johnny Gargano on my show. I can't put Adam Cole on my show. Like, I just can't. These aren't guys that I would consider stars. But that was, without a doubt, the best version of NXT. So, like, what's your thoughts on the new but not so new logo and the possibility of NXT kind of going back to the way it used to be?
Reserving judgment. I'm excited that they are. It's a logo change. Let's look at it. Like, it's a logo change, guys. Does it mean that the show is going to change? Not necessarily, right? I hope so because it's Triple H, right? And for you guys watching and listening to this podcast here, that I'm a huge Triple H guy. Mm-hmm. Let's look at it from the outside looking in, right? What has changed since Triple H has taken over creative, right? Not much on the NXT side. Now it could be where it's like, Triple H, he's so stretched thin. He wants to fix the main roster first, fix aspects of the main roster first. They get onto NXT, right? That can happen, right? And I won't say I liked 2.0, but there are some aspects of it that I enjoyed, right? Obviously, black and gold is where it is, right? I love black and gold. That is, probably the best brand that WWE has had in over 10 to 15 years, in my opinion, right? The storytelling, the wrestling, the continuity and storylines, right? There's, not too many, gaps where, that you need to fill in yourself, right? It was fantastic. Now, there's a lot of things that I look at 2.0 that I'm like, okay, well, this is not really a Vince thing. Or sorry, not really a Triple H thing. One, had the Brooks and Jensen, right? Mm-hmm. Not really a Triple H thing, right? You know what I mean? Like not Cowboys, but like, country guys that like to fight and, one of them is a virgin still. That's not really a Triple H thing. Not really a Triple H thing. Quincy Elliott. Very controversial, right?
Missy Elliott.
Yeah, Quincy Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Not really a Triple H thing, but yeah, you have the Velveteen Dream. Quincy Elliott is, how can I say this? He's
careful.
Yeah, I know. I'm very. Oh, fuck it. I'm not gonna say that. Just kidding. But no, Quincy Elliott. I will say this: he has a character. For what I saw yesterday, his in ring is not what I like to see. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's some aspects about 2.0 that I do like. You guys know I love my Von Khali, right? That he's terrible. He's terrible on the mic. He sucks. Man, he's good. He's really good. Carmelo Hayes, obviously, right? Toxic Attraction. I like Diamond Mine, Creed Brothers, fantastic. Mm-hmm. I mean, so there's some aspects there that are good. Now, it's gonna be a while. gonna be a while before we see major difference because it's the same roster. It's the same exact roster that it was last night. Now, unless we start seeing some indie talent coming in and, you know, you get some more established stars to work with the new guys and do that, I think that'll improve. But the last thing I'll say about this is that doesn't matter what we do, doesn't matter what Triple H does, they don't start having shows in different places other than the Performance Center, and the shows are not going to be great. They can just do shows only in Florida. They can only do shows only in Florida, maybe Georgia, maybe North Carolina, right? But have them go out there on the road, right, and get different tastes from different crowds, right? You know what I mean? Like you don't have to go to a big arena, right? You go to to a little auditorium, wherever the case may be. But yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of great things I'm expecting with the new NXT. I guess the 3.0, whatever you want to call it, black and gold or white and gold, whatever you want to call it. But there are some fundamental things that they need to fix. And first things first, they got to get out of that Performance Center to really start making a difference and for it to feel different.
I mean, thank you for finally saying that. Like, it's, we had this conversation last week, and I was saying this for the longest time, where, and I was saying this before the pandemic started, when NXT was first put on television, was that, once the pandemic is over, they need to consider going out on the road, and I made the example of, Raw and SmackDown will do pay-per-views in the AT&T Center, and also they'll do Raw and SmackDown. Let me rephrase that. So the main roster will do pay-per-views, Raw and SmackDown at the AT&T Center. Depending on the event, the Royal Rumble, which is going to be this year or next year technically, and then the smaller equivalent of the AT&T Center is the Freeman Coliseum, which is where NXT Takeover from 2017 was, which we went to, and they were also at the Aztec Theater. So, again, for NXT, if you're not going to sell that out, put it in the Aztec Theater. Put it in the Freeman Coliseum. Do that. Because these wrestlers, they need exposure. I mean, because they're not going to get used to crowds if they're just in front of the same crowd all the time. You're right. They need to get out of the Performance Center. They need to consider going around Florida just to try and, get everyone comfortable. And not just like, hey, so we're going to be in Los Angeles, we're going to be in New York, we're going to be in blah, blah, blah. It's like, no. Like, save that for TakeOver. Like, do the small crowds, and then once they're used to that, do a U.S. tour. Go to Georgia. Go to North Carolina. Go to Minneapolis. Do the wrestling cities. So, I mean, I have faith for NXT. I want to see NXT succeed. I mean, like I said, was there, just wasn't the NXT I liked. I mean, like you just said, Triple H isn't just gonna like randomly fire everybody from the roster overnight, because it's gonna be a process, because a lot of, I don't want to say damage, but a lot has been done to the brand. Because
that's a lot of damage, all right.
Right. I mean, because for the longest time it was Triple H's baby. He had his guys like Finn Balor, he had Kevin Owens. He had the Undisputed Era. He had, Charlotte and Bayley and Asuka and, whatnot. And, 2.0 was a Vince thing. 2.0 was a Bruce Pritchard thing. And so, again, Triple H is not just going to get rid of these guys or just, like, not put them on TV. Because I'm pretty sure he's going to see value in some of these guys. He's going to see value in Braun. He's going to see value in Hayes. He's going to see value and Toxic Attraction, Roxy. I honestly don't know what he's going to do with Core Jade, but we'll see. He's going to see value in.
Core Jade's coming along, I think. I think by this time next year, she'll have her identity. She'll be in a great position.
We'll see. But it's going to be a while. I mean, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being too much of a Triple H guy, but I can see a lot of guys seeing that NXT is going back to the way it was and wanting to come back. I can see Adam, I don't want to say Adam Cole, but like, because he has a contract for another 5 years, but I Maybe everyone was maybe reading too much into it. Maybe I was, but he posted a picture of just his face, making some face or whatever, looking off into the distance, and so I guess people took that as him going, "Oh, I want to go back." Maybe, maybe not, but I'm guessing maybe not. And then Bobby Fish, for what it's worth, he's done with AEW. Kyle O'Reilly might be wanting to leave. So, and I don't know if we talked about this, but he could possibly want to come back and reform, I guess, a partial version of the Undisputed Era, and maybe wait for Adam Cole to come back. I don't know. We'll see. But it's exciting times in WWE. WWE, has the momentum. And like I said on the show last week, I don't want AEW to fail. I don't want AEW to go out of business. I like the fact that there's another big company out there, but it just... Hey, what's up, Maurice? I like the fact that there's another company out there for the wrestlers to work and make money, and not just it's WWE or nothing. Or maybe I can go to Japan and God help us, go to Impact. Oof. Maurice, what did you miss? You didn't really miss much. We were just talking about Velveteen Dream and NXT, but it's exciting times if you're a wrestling fan, especially if you're a WWE fan. What else? I had a really bad headache on Monday, so I had to sleep it off. So I missed Raw. Tell me what I missed.
All right. Well, let me bring up Raw. Let me bring up the Raw thing real quick here, so that way we can talk about it the right way here. So, but yeah, no, just to cap off on the whole NXT thing. I mean, we're not gonna see any immediate changes with NXT. I think it's gonna be one of those things where it's gonna take some time. Over a course of months to change. I mean, we should start seeing some changes, at the beginning of 2023. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So anyway, with Raw, let me see. Raw. Okay, so Raw start off with, excuse me, with the promo from, looks like it was from Riddle, I want to say. I think Riddle start off Raw. No, I'm sorry. No, actually, Rollins start off, the promo on Raw. And, Matt Riddle came out. So they're continuing their feud. You didn't see nothing on Raw at all?
You know what? Actually, I did see the promo with Kevin Owens and Theory.
Okay, yeah.
That I saw. That I liked.
Yeah, that was so. Excuse me. So Raw overall, I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good show overall. So basically, the major things that to take away from Raw, Kevin Owens promo, right, which was fantastic. Basically, Rhea Ripley just talking to Dom's ear, saying that hey, you can be my daddy, or I don't know. We don't know what she said, but basically, Judgment Day is now looking like an actual strong faction. Edge's leg is diminished by a coup de grace stomp from Finn Balor from the top rope at the end of the show. We have Dakota Kai and Io Sky, Damage Control. They're the new women's tag team champions, which kind of makes me think, why did they even do the original title change? Well, not title change, but the winners of the tournament with Raquel and Aaliyah, the racist. Yeah, so there you go. Then you have Johnny Gargano's return match. Fantastic match with him and Chad Gable. Chad Gable, I mean, can we get Chad Gable with the Creeds? That'd be great. Fantastic. But great match between those three. I was talking between those two. At the end though, Austin Theory came out and attacked Johnny Gargano with the briefcase. That led into the Austin Theory promo with Kevin Owens. A great promo. Fantastic promo. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. Bianca Belair defeated Sonya Deville. Apparently there was a nip slip from Sonya Deville in this match. I saw the pictures. Everyone was raving about it. I'm thinking okay, she just has boobs. Big deal. It's a nip slip though. So Seth Rollins and Lashley is going to face off against each other next week for the United States Championship. That is going to be a great match. And I think Seth Rollins is probably going to actually go out and win that match. We'll see. Or you know what? Maybe I think Riddle's probably just going to come out there and just get disqualification or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, good.
Dexter Lumis invades the Miz's home, and I thought some people didn't like this. I mean, I thought it was great. I mean, they need to do more stuff like this, like away from the arena, make the world one big world away from the arena. So that I liked. Then you had your main event, like I said, with it was Dom versus Edge. Edge does get the win. The Judgment Day, they end up getting the last laugh. Mysterio came out there to try to help out. Didn't really do anything, obviously. You know, I mean, it was 1 against 4, right? So, but at the end, a chair was wrapped around Edge's leg. Coup de grace from the top rope for Finn Balor. It seems that Edge is being ran off TV at this point. So, we'll see. I mean, it doesn't need to be on TV every week, right? So this will be a great way to get him off TV for a while, up until Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. So we'll wait and see when he comes back. I think that if he does come back, I can see, I don't know, maybe Rhea Ripley and Dom versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. That could be something. Mm-hmm. Be something down the road. We'll have to wait and see, though, on what they'll do with that. So... But that was pretty much Raw in a nutshell, though. I mean, it was, the abridged version of it, but 7 out of 10 show for me personally. But, wasn't bad, obviously, but it wasn't, like, fantastic. But the highlights of the show, if you guys haven't seen it, watch the Gargano match, watch the Kevin Owens promo. Definitely go out your way and watch that for sure. Probably one of the best promos of the year. That's how good it was. And go and watch the ending segment with Judgment Day, because they look very strong at the end of it all. So, here you go.
Oh, God damn it! I dropped my phone. Like the Kevin Owens promo was great. I mean, I like this feud, and because I like Austin Theory. It feels weird because Austin Theory, like, it feels like a lot of people don't like him, which I guess I mean it's good. I mean, it's good to hear, but like, it seems like a lot of people don't like him because they feel like he's being forced, but yet he's been losing a lot of matches. So, which is still weird that they're pushing this kid to the moon, and yet he's losing a lot of matches. I mean, I like him. He's a hybrid. He doesn't do anything that's too crazy. He's a wrestler. He's a worker. He's a old fashioned wrestler. He doesn't do all the spots. He doesn't need to. So
I find it funny that a lot of people, and I'm not saying like nobody in this chat or anything like that, but just us as wrestling fans, we need new stars. We want new stars. And then when WWE tries to push a new star, oh, but that's not the star that I want. Well, it's like you can't have it all. Like, I mean, like you gotta understand that WWE, yes, they gotta push stars for the future or whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Austin Theory, like, I guarantee you this. He's gonna be like a John Cena from the aspect of you guys are gonna hate him. Then eventually you're gonna love him. Because now, if you look at it, I would say that most fans nowadays are probably like 80% pro Cena to only 20% non-pro Cena. When back in the day it was like maybe like 70% against Cena, 30% with Cena, but it was just the women and children. I mean, I can see the same thing for Austin Theory. I like him. I think he's I almost say he's a great worker, but he's a good worker for his age, right? He has a lot of talent, a lot of promise, very young. Sky's the limit for him, I think.
I also think with Cena, it's just like absence makes the heart grow fonder. And, he was being pushed like Superman for the longest time that people resented it. And then when he left, to go to Hollywood and become a big star, it became a thing of like, well, we kind of miss him. Like, we remember Cena when he wasn't pushed like Superman, so, I don't know, it's like Daniel Bryan said, wrestling fans are fickle. They're fickle. And, I can be fickle. I'm not afraid to admit it, so. With Theory, I think he'll do okay. I mean, he doesn't need to do the flippy doos like, everyone else does. I mean, because I remember there was this, like, weird debate of, comparing Sammy Guevara to Theory. I'm like, Well, Theory doesn't need to kill himself to get over. Like, not even to say that Theory is like massively over, but he's getting there. He's doing the smart thing. He's realizing, I'm not even 30 yet. I'm not even like 25 yet. I think he's like barely 25 or 24, I believe.
He's 25 years old. He just turned 25 in like this year.
Right. So he's like, I'm going to be smart and work smart. So, and that's good. Be a smarter worker. Sammy is doing the stupid spots. He's being thrown off the cage. He's doing things off a ladder. And it's just like, dude, you're going to cripple yourself by the time you're in your 30s. I mean, same thing with Darby Allin, but whatever. But I like Theory. I mean, again, I love Kevin Owens too. I like Kevin being featured in more spots. Hey, what's going on, Eddie? Don't worry about it. Kevin seems like he has more fire. So I'm interested in this feud because Kevin Owens is trying to slap some sense into Theory because in character mode he looks at Theory as like I was you once upon a time. And I'm trying to help you, but Theory being the brash young, worker, he's like, screw you, I don't need your help. So I'm interested to see their next match, which I'm assuming is going to be at Extreme Rules. So we'll see. As we're talking, I'm remembering more clips I've seen from Raw. So I did see the vignette with Dominic, where Rhea was whispering something in his ear, and then he says, "I'm not your baby boy anymore." So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was kind of weird because I did see, I guess, like the video, like not the videos, but like the photos of Dominic wrestling Edge, and he's still wearing his gear, like his original gear, which I'm just like, shouldn't they have gotten him new gear? Like, wouldn't that make more sense to get him new gear? But I don't know. I mean, that's just me.
Maybe they'll come down the road. I mean, it did take Roman. It did take some time for Roman to take the vest off.
I don't know. Like, I personally, like, because he in NXT he wore like traditional wrestling tights. I think it would, I don't know, would have made more sense for him to just come out in tights. But I mean, I don't have a problem with him wearing pants. But that's just me. I mean, that's pretty much all I remember from Raw, or what I can think of from Raw, I guess, and actually watched Raw. Like I mentioned, I had a really bad migraine after work on Monday, so I just slept it off. Wasn't able to watch it live, but I was able to see what I was able to see. What else? Hey, what's going on, Kyle? But I guess we can talk about. Do you want to get into the PWI?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So the PWI 500 list came out, and everybody is losing their minds, if you can believe that. I mean, this happens every year. I mean, you can't really take the list too seriously. I mean, it's one of those things of just like, we shouldn't take it seriously, but sometimes we kind of do. Because this is obviously from... Is it the fans that vote, or is it the journalists that vote?
I think it's the journalists that vote.
Right, this is the Meltzer, this is the Alvarez, this is the Sean Ross Saps. This is... who's the older guy? I forgot his name. Mike Johnson and guys like that. So you can't really take it all that seriously, but unfortunately, we do. So
and mind you, this is not like the best wrestler in the world. This is like kayfabe. You know what I mean?
Right. So obviously, we're not going to cover 500. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if we can just do like a marathon show and go over 500, all 500 names. That'd be pretty fucking. We'd need like so much coffee. So much cocaine.
Oh yeah, no, not the way I'm feeling tonight.
All right, so we're gonna do 30. So I got the 30 lists. We'll just start from. Have you seen the list, by the way?
I've seen the list, yes.
All right, so the top 20 came out, but somebody on Twitter was able to get a screenshot of number 21 through 30. So we're gonna start with 30. Mike Bailey. Who the fuck is Mike Bailey?
E-ball Mike Bailey. Yeah, he's good. I don't know if I'm putting him top 30, but he's good though. See, he's the Impact X Division champion right now.
All right. Next is number 29, Zack Sabre Jr.
I mean, he is one of the best in the world. I mean, he wasn't injured or anything like that last year. He's always in storylines in New Japan, so I mean, I don't see an issue with that.
I don't know. I've watched him a few times. I never really got into him. I think he's just kind of boring to me. Like, I like submission, mat wrestling, technical wrestling, all that shit. But I don't know, just something about him. Like, he seems like when he's wrestling, he's moving at a snail's pace. So, I don't know, and everyone was just hyping this dude up. I'm like, this is the guy everyone's hyping up? I don't know, just not for me. Next is Sammy Guevara.
I mean, I know a lot of people hate him right now, but and I'm not really a huge fan of his either. But I mean, can't say that when he's in the ring, he does pull in good matches. He was TNT champion like 17,000 times, so there's that too.
He needs to slow down. Like, honestly,
yeah, he's gonna injure himself and not come back from that.
Right. I mean, again, another young kid like Theory. He really needs to slow down and just realize, I don't need to do this shit. People already like me. I'm already over, and I'm married to a hot ass Brazilian woman. So why do I need to kill myself before I turn 35? So, and I like Sammy. I'm not saying I don't like Sammy. Next is Will Ospreay.
Ospreay, I mean, definitely one of the best in the world. Now, funny thing is, I think he's too high for this year, being that he was injured for a big chunk of that. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's Will Ospreay. I mean, a lot of people, they like the flippy doodah, or some people hate the flippity doodah. I mean, I'm one of those people who leans towards liking flippity doodah stuff, as long as it makes sense. Some of the stuff that he does sometimes doesn't make sense though. So, but wrestler, he was the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion during that time as well. So, is what it is.
Again, saw him a few times, and especially when he came to AEW, he kind of exposed himself, and I don't want to say that's his fault. Maybe that's booking, when they decided to put him in a match with Orange Cassidy. And it's just like, this is the best in the world? Again, I'm not a fan of the flippity doodahs. Not for me. It's just an opinion. Next is Braun Breaker.
Yeah, you know what? What number is this? 27?
He's number 26.
26? Yeah. Being a rookie? Yeah. Yeah. He's been improving month after month. Like, imagine him next year at this time, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, he's going to be probably one of the best in the world.
He's easily top 15, at least. At least. Next is AC Mack. Who was that?
AC Mack?
He is, let me look at this.
AC Mack. He's not MLW, is he?
He became the first openly gay man to win a world title recognized by PWI when he beat Alex Shelley for the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Championship in January.
Oh, you know what? I seen him. I seen him before. He's okay. He's okay. I mean, obviously, if he's up here this high, I mean, he must have done something great this year. He must have put some good work in. But, no. I mean, I can't really say that he deserves this top spot, but apparently he's up there. So,
but do you really rank him over fucking Braun Breaker, who's actually on television?
I mean, me personally, no, right? But I mean, like, let's say if we were to go out there and see one or two of his matches, right? Let's say he's like phenomenal, like, oh my god, this guy's like groundbreaking, like he can tell stories in a ring and this, that, and the other. Like, we can't say this is a right position for him or not because we haven't seen any of his matches. Now let's say we see his matches, like, you know what, this guy's not even that good, man. Like, why is he that high? Okay, then I understand. But would I personally rank him over Bron Breakker? No, but at the same time, I think, like I said, I think I may have seen maybe one match.
I mean, whoever does these lists, and we already know who it is, we have a good idea on who it is. It's like they need to take into account of, do people actually know who any of these wrestlers are? And not just like they're the, they won the J1, cup in Japan in front of the Tokyo Dome against Nagasaki Rocket Taui. It's like, okay, that's fine, but has anyone actually seen the match? You know what I mean? And not to take away from this guy's, accolades. I'm not trying to sound like a dick. Well, maybe I am, but like, it's just, has this guy actually been on TV? If anyone in the chat room can tell me if this guy's actually been on television,
I guarantee he's probably at least been on AEW at least once or twice.
More than likely.
AEW has fucking everybody on there. I may be wrong about that, but...
So, again, not trying to shit on the guy's accolades, but it's just like, you're going to rank him over a guy who has been on television for a year, has been killing it. And he's a 2-time NXT champion. So, I don't know. That's going to be the story of this list. Or that's the story of this list in general. Next is Alexander Hammerstone at number 24.
Oh yeah, Hammerstone. Yeah, it's like freaking Hulk Hogan, MLW champion. I think he has a future. He's young, but he looks like he's like 50. Like, God, but I'm hoping that he comes to. He's a WWE guy for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man, he's a WWE guy for sure. So. He's still young. I think he's like 30, 31, something like that. He's still young. So, whenever his contract ends with MLW, I'm 110% sure that WWE is going to get a look at him and try to get him into WWE.
He is born. He was born to be in WWE. How tall is he? Can you tell me?
Probably he's not tall. He's like 6 foot, 6'1". But I mean, nowadays that doesn't really matter. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be a size queen, but it's just like, he looks like somebody that could be on WWE television. He
100%
is him and Fatu. Like, I want to see him in WWE. And I was telling RJ about this on our Patreon show on Saturday. Quite frankly, there's just a lot of guys I see in AEW that I'm like, I'd rather see him in WWE. Like, I'd rather see most guys on AEW and WWE. I'd rather see Hammerstone and fucking Fatu on WWE television, and that could be a possibility. And CM Goof in the chat room is saying that Hammerstone's contract is a 5-year deal. Goof, do you know when he signed that contract? If you're able to tell me. We'll keep talking while he looks that up. So, Hammerstone's at number 24. I mean, I think that's a little low. I mean, at least be in the top 20? I don't know. But, again, we're going to continue with this list. Number 23, Jay White.
I think that's low. I'm not saying Jay White should be like top 10, but I love Jay White. I'm a Jay White mark, so that's the work that he's put in New Japan and in AEW. Character work, good stuff. I've been happy we've been top 20.
I've seen a little bit of his work. It's weird. He's what I think Adam Cole should have been. Like, if Adam Cole were maybe a little bit taller and had some muscles on him, he'd be Jay White. And I think he'd be perfect. And, again, this is coming from someone who likes Adam Cole, but it's like, I'm just going to spade a spade. Like, if Adam Cole actually worked out, or at least, like, toned up a little bit, and was maybe a few inches taller, he'd be Jay White. And I think he'd be pretty good.
I really like Jay White.
What was that?
No, I was saying I really like Jay White. Like, I like his promo work, in-ring style. Like, I'm not saying like he's the greatest of all time or anything like that, but I like what I see from him.
Why do you think like WWE or like AEW hasn't like made a pass to like bring him to the States? or like sign him up to a big deal.
Well, I know he's in New Japan for some time too. I mean, New Japan is his home company, right? Kind of like John Cena. John Cena's home company, Randy Orton's home company is, WWE. MJF and Sammy Guevara and Darby Allin, their home company is AEW, right? Jay White's home company is New Japan. So it's gonna be kind of be hard to get him out of New Japan. You know what I mean? Can I see it happen? Sure, yeah, but I think it's gonna have to take a lot for him to leave.
Fair enough. Number 22 is Chris Jericho.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I'm not. I'm not really too. I don't love it, but I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's just like, looking at the list, ranked over Jay White, ranked over Alexander Hammerstone, ranked over Braun Breaker. I guess this is because maybe he brings star power to AEW, and to his credit, he's gotten in, much better shape. But just, ranked over Matt
Well,
Riddle.
you know what the ranking criteria is for this, right?
Tell me.
So this it's always been this way. The ranking criteria for the PWI 500 is your win-loss record, if you won any championships or tournaments or anything like that. The competition, right? The competition that you had, your in-ring abilities, your ring psychology matches, and your influence. So, your visibility, prestige, throughout the industry as well. So they take account of all those things and some other things as well, and they make the lists.
I didn't know that. Makes sense, I guess. Number 21, Moose.
I like Moose. Again, I don't think he's like one of the greatest out there, but I like Moose. He works hard, man. He puts up a lot of shit in Impact. He does. For Impact champion and all that, but honestly, I'll probably put him a little bit lower, maybe. I mean, maybe top 25, top 30. 21, it was probably a little bit high.
I mean, again, another guy where it's just like, what did he say? Like, he turned down money to go to WWE for, what is it? Because he didn't want to go to WWE? What did he say? Like, what is his reason for not want to go to WWE?
I don't remember the exact reason, but I can probably tell you this was Vince McMahon was running the show, and he probably felt that, no, I'm not going to be pushed with Vince McMahon there. Which is probably going to be true, but he wasn't going to be pushed. Vince McMahon was there, so. But I know he had some personal issues as well.
Right. Okay.
I think he had some personal issues. I think he had
domestic. I think it was domestic assault or something.
Domestic or sexual assault or something like that. Yeah.
No, I think
that could be that too.
I think it was his ex-wife. They got into a fight or something, but I don't know. Number 20, Drew McIntyre.
I would have. Man, that's kind of hard. I would put him higher. Yeah, hell of a year. I mean, he's such a hard worker, Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe put him a little bit higher. Not too high, but maybe a little bit higher.
I mean, I'm a Drew supporter. I supported Drew through the pandemic. Maurice is saying top 15 at best. I agree. I mean, Drew works his ass off.
Yeah.
He's really working his ass off, and I don't think he'll ever be. I don't want to say never, but for the longest, I think he probably won't be world champion for a while, especially with Roman in charge. I mean, because it's going to be Cody, and then I don't know, maybe someone else after that. But it's yeah, Drew's a hard worker. He works his ass off. I remember Cornette was reviewing the main event from Clash of the Castle, where he said, Drew sells really good for a big man. And I agree, a lot of big guys think they don't have to sell. You have to sell. If you're maybe an Omos, you don't really have to sell, but for a guy like Drew, who's 6'4", 6'5", and he's really agile, he's able to move across the ring the way he does, he's really good at selling. Him and Sheamus. So I don't know, I think Drew should be a little higher. This is okay. This is fucking weird. Number 19, Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that seems about right. Just for this past year,
But
because he's been out for a long time.
yeah, he just fucking came
So-
back. How is he in the top 20 if he just came back?
Well, I mean, because they take it from, I think, from July last year to July this year. So,
He's way too high. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he shouldn't be on the list. He should maybe be lower because it's just like the top 20, top 15 should be for people that have actually had an impact and actually did something. Kenny has
he
not.
had an impact on dropping the title with Hangman. And he did. I mean, he did. And they had one of the best matches in AEW's history during that year time frame. So, yeah, I mean,
Oh boy.
I honestly think that's about right for where it's at.
Yeah, I guess. Number 18, Adam Cole.
Yeah, I guess it is. Like, to me though, it's like with Adam Cole. I think Adam Cole should be lower, and it's nothing to do with Adam Cole. I love Adam Cole. It's just that his booking, it seems like he's just under the mill and just going through feelers in AEW. It's like Tony Khan doesn't know what the hell he's doing with them, right? He had a world title shot. We thought at one point, I thought at least that he was gonna be Hangman for the title, but you know what I mean? I think he's a little bit too high. Top 25, but probably no lower than that.
Yeah, like Adam Cole, again, this is like night and day. Adam Cole, when he was in NXT, was fucking, that was a megastar. That was a rock star. Ever since he got to AEW, it's just like, what have they done with this guy? Like, they have given him piss poor booking. And, I mean, they brought back the Undisputed Era, kinda, sorta, and that didn't work. And, I mean, Maurice said it best. When they brought him back, he was basically just, the elite sidekick. I mean, he's saying the Young Bucks, but, I get what he means. But, like, they brought him back as basically just a sidekick and not as a star. Like, it would have made more sense if, when he came back, they could have started a feud with him and Omega. Which, it looked like they were trying to do that, but now that fucking Fish is gone, and then, O'Reilly's hurt, and he more than likely might end up leaving. So, now we won't get that feud. I mean, we'll probably get it with Cole and Omega, but, I mean, at this point, who cares? I mean, not to say that, I'm not trying to speak for everyone else, but it's just, who honestly cares about this feud anymore? I mean, who cares about anything that the Elite do anymore? Yeah, I agree. Adam Cole maybe should be a little lower, maybe like 25-ish.
Yeah.
Number 17, this is really a fucking head scratcher. Seth Rollins.
Too low. Low.
Top 10. Like,
yeah, I would say I would go maybe top 7.
tops. Like, I think Seth Rollins, to me, he's my choice for, male wrestler of the year, because from the beginning of the year to now, he has been in the best feuds, the best moments, and some of the best matches. Like, I'm looking at my list of possible match of the year candidates. A lot of them have Seth Rollins in it. Whether it be his match with Roman at the Rumble, where he came out, dressed in Shield gear and had the Shield entrance. His matches with Cody, his feud with Riddle. Like, he's fucking top 10 material. Like you said, top 7. So
now, I will say this. Now, he's 17. Remember how they constructed the list? He didn't win a title last year. He hasn't won a title in a long time, actually. So that could be the reason why, at this list, as I'm at a point of 17.
Yeah, but come on, title, like, they need to take whatever. I'm just gonna hold my opinions until we get closer to the top 10. Number 16, MJF. Top 10. Top 10. Come on.
We're starting into the thick of thick here. I mean, I'm not disappointed that he's there. Now he did take off.
Okay.
Because he's been gone since when? Since what, June?
Yeah, but that was only a few months, dude.
Yeah, so June, July, so okay, so 10 months out of the... I think he's fine. I think he's fine where he's at.
You already told me how this list is constructed. I'm just going by how I would construct it. It's just like...
Right.
You know, MJF is easily top 5, top 10. Rollins should be in the top 10. McIntyre maybe should be top 15. And it's just like Omega was gone for almost a year, so he should maybe be lower than 19. But again, that's just me. That's just me being nitpicky. Number 15, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Ace in New Japan. I mean, that's fucking Tanahashi. That's Japanese Cena. I mean, deservedly so where he's at.
All right, I've never seen his stuff, so I can't really judge. But what you said, what other people have said, that he's a star. I mean, people love him, and I have heard the Cena comparisons thrown around as far as like his popularity. So can't really judge him. So I'm just gonna keep it at that. Number 14, Josh Alexander.
Ooh, the walking weapon. Ooh. I won't say I love Josh Alexander. I like him. I think he's a great talent. Like like to me, like he has that believability in the ring. He's the Impact champion right now. He's had great matches with Moose and Ishii and Christian. I'm not mad at that. Maybe a little bit lower, tad bit lower, but I'm not mad at 14 though.
I haven't seen enough of him, but from what I have seen, he is very talented. I mean, he looks legit. I mean, he looks like an athlete. He looks like he can beat the shit out of you. So he's talented. I can't really say if maybe. I think he's fine where he's at. I'm going to agree with you. I think he's fine where he's at. So, he's good. Number 13, Matt Cardona.
Deservedly so at number 13. The shit that he's been doing in the indies, and just like the heel work, and okay, I'll put it to you this way: the NWA, ever since the pandemic, was like no one wanted to watch the NWA like since the pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
After the pandemic, well, we're still in the pandemic, but you know what I mean, like when crowds are coming back,
mm-hmm.
like he's made the NWA title something to watch for again, right? He's doing the best work of his career.
Right.
His GCW heel heat is great. Reminds me of some ECW crowds. 13, I'll probably nudge him down a little bit, too much, but a little bit, like 15. I'm not mad at you at 13.
Yeah. You know what? For Matt Cardona, I mean, he took the Cody route. He didn't leave WWE. He got released by WWE. But, when he got released, instead of doing, the usual bitching and moaning, he decided to go out and bet on himself. And it worked. He's no longer the NWA champion because he got hurt. But, he became the NWA champion, went to GCW. I saw that clip of him going to the GCW show and doing what was it, like a Sandman entrance? And it was cool, and I can respect that. The guy's in shredded shape. He's married to one of the hottest women in wrestling, and he finds a way to keep himself relevant. If he's not wrestling, he's doing his toy podcast. People listen as long as you have an audience that helps. So, top 15, I think, is good for him. I agree with you. Maybe he should be a little lower than 13. But, I'm not gonna get mad at it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I'm just gonna keep it at that. Number 12 is Jon Moxley.
Higher, super higher. He deserves to be top 10. He's AEW, like he is AEW's Iron Man. He's AEW's Iron Man. He was gone for a little bit, recovering. Man, like he makes you believe. He puts unbelievable matches. He, his feuds have all been. I won't say they all been great, but they've all been good, at least in my opinion. I think he deserves that top 10 position. Now we're getting to the real thick of things too. So it's like, if you have Mox at 12, but you have Brian Danielson at number 9 or whatever. Like I can't be mad at that.
You see, with Moxley, that's where I'm going to disagree. It's just like, I'm sorry, Moxley, when he's not doing his hardcore matches and bleeding unnecessarily, he to me he's boring. He's kind of boring to watch. Like I don't know. It's just like I saw everybody on Twitter before we did the show complaining that he's not in the top 10. He should be number 1. Blah blah blah. I'm like,
no, not number 1, but
is someone seeing what I'm not seeing? Because Moxley is just not very good. He relies on doing these hardcore matches and bleeding unnecessarily and acting like a tough guy, when in reality it's just like his matches are just not very good. I disagree. Even when he wrestles against Bryan Danielson, even when he wrestles against Omega, and I'm not even the biggest Omega fan, but Omega can still at least he can work. It just, to me, I don't know. Moxley, I preferred him more as Dean Ambrose. I'm going to be that guy. Like him as Moxley, again, he's kind of reinvented himself, and he's a name. People know him, but just I haven't been a Moxley fan. I'm sorry, I really haven't. I mean, I'm gonna give him credit where credit is due. He went to rehab and turned his life around and lost the weight, and he looks good. I mean, he's in the best shape of his life from what I've seen, but I don't see what people are seeing. You know what I mean? It's like that one year when he was, wrestler of the year, where I'm like, really, Moxley? And then, I had, friends of mine that were trying to convince me, well, he had good matches in Japan, and blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but what has he done in America? Like, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Moxley fan. I don't think he should be in the top 10. That's just my opinion. But just,
where would you put him? If you had to put him where?
I'd put him at 500. No, I'm playing. I'm fucking around. But if I had to put him anywhere, just based on him being a name, at least, I think he belongs in the top 20 at least. But I don't know. I would rank Drew McIntyre over him. I would rank not Adam Cole. I'd rank MJF and Seth Rollins over him, and even Matt Cardona.
Well, I don't know about Matt Cardona, but Seth, yeah, I can see with Seth for sure. Yeah, if you were to rank Seth over Mox, I wouldn't be mad at that at all. If you were to rank MJF over Mox, I wouldn't necessarily agree, but I can see where you're coming from with that. You know what I mean? Adam Cole or no, Matt Cardona. Not Matt Cardona, in my opinion, at least.
All right. Number 11, Shingo Takagi.
Takagi. Japan. He's a fucking beast in the ring. He's damn good at what he does, man. He can wrestle. Obviously, I mean, I can't really know about his promo work because he speaks Japanese, and that's kind of hard for me to understand that. But he can work his ass off. He can put on some damn good matches, and he doesn't need to speak English for me to see that he's a damn good professional wrestler. So, 11, sure. I would have thought he would have been higher. Actually, I would not have put him higher, I just would have thought that the guys that put this list together would have put him higher, like maybe like a top 5 position, but 11's fine.
All right, number 10. Now we're in the thick of things. We're in the top 10. Number 10, Jonathan Gresham.
I mean, he's a damn good wrestler. Damn good wrestler, Ring of Honor champion.
But number 10,
during that time frame, he's put on some very damn good matches over the past year. I won't put him top 10, maybe top 20. But there you go.
He's a champion for a company that technically doesn't exist. So I would not have put him top 10. I mean, at best, I would have put him maybe 20. But it's just like, how are you going to rank Jonathan Gresham over Alexander Hammerstone? How are you going to rank Gresham over... I don't know. I again, people like Jonathan Gresham. I guess I can see why, because the guy can work, but again, this is me being a dick. The guy is legit 5'2". Like, he belongs for that niche, Ring of Honor, smart crowd, where it's like, this guy is a technical specimen, and it's like, the dude is not even tall enough to get the fucking box on the high shelf. I'm sorry. Like, again, not even trying to be a size queen, but it's just like, I'm just calling a spade a spade. And yeah, he's married to Jordan Grace. So, sorry to any Jonathan Gresham fans out there. Number 9, Big E. I'm just gonna say it. He really should not be ranked this high.
I think I agree, but I think it's more because of the injury. I think it's like a sympathetic position for him.
Yeah, but it's just like, when did you say that?
If he wasn't injured, then if he was still putting on the banger matches that he was, then I can agree. But I don't agree with where he's at right now, because got injured back in what?
I know it's for a Mania, like March.
February, March. So yeah, I think this is more of a sympathy position for him.
Yeah, and love Big E, but I mean, really should not be this high. I mean, probably in the top 15, maybe top 20. But like you said, this might be a sympathy vote, because when they started doing like their votes in like last July, and now so he was the Money in the Bank winner. He was the champion for a hot minute, but then he got hurt. So it's just like, yeah, this should really take him down a few notches. He should not be this high. Sorry. Number 8, how the fuck do you say this guy's name? El Hijo del Vikingo.
Oh, he's fantastic. He's really fucking good. Now, again, we gotta come to, have you seen this guy or not? And I can pretty much, and I can't speak for everybody in the chat, but I can pretty much say that most of you guys probably never seen him before. But we shouldn't take away from that because of the fact that he wrestles in AAA, right? He wrestles in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, he's flippy and all that stuff as well, but he does some very innovative stuff. Would he be... hard to say, right? 10. I'll go top 10 because of his talent alone. And again, it's kind of like, just because we may not have never seen him a lot, or we have probably never seen his matches, and take away from his actual accolades of what he's done the past year.
Again, I gotta be a dick. Especially with the top 10, it needs to be people that we've actually seen on television, whether it be WWE, NXT, AEW, like people that have actually been in front of a live audience and not.
He wasn't a live audience, just in Mexico.
Yeah, but I mean, how? All right, I haven't seen this guy, so I can't really judge him. But it's just like, kind of like, think about it this way. What's your favorite Marvel movie of all time? Or I'm sorry, or superhero movie? We'll just go with that. You have to pick one. superhero.
Okay, maybe I'll go to a can of worms there. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I like No Way Home that just came out. I like Spider-Man 2, Winter Soldier, The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah, those are some favorites.
So let's say that. Okay, so let's say that I've never seen The Dark Knight before. I've never seen Dark Knight before, but I have seen Batman. Let's say Batman '89. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Batman '89 is the greatest not Superman. This is the greatest superhero movie of all time. You can't tell me different. Blah 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 blah. Well, you haven't seen Dark Knight to really contest that. You guys at least see Dark Knight to at least test that. It's kind of the same thing with this guy. Like, we haven't since we haven't really seen him, we can't really like judge and like, oh, you know what? Hey, he doesn't deserve to be in top 10.
Well, I mean, I think movies are different than wrestling, whereas like wrestling is so freaking broad. But the United, okay, let me say it like this.
Huh?
There's U.S. wrestling, there's Japanese wrestling, there's British wrestling, there's Lucha Libre, and like a big chunk of the audience has seen everything in America. WWE is the most watched wrestling company in the United States and also the world.
Right.
And again, this is just my opinion. NJPW, I think is for a niche audience. There's a very niche part of the wrestling community that lives, dies, and breathes by everything, NJPW does. And I don't know of too many people that pay attention to Lucha. Again, this isn't me trying to speak for myself. I'm not trying to say, if I haven't heard of him, then he sucks. Like, no, this isn't me. Like, for all I know, this guy could be really good, and Justin is telling me that he's really good. I'm going to trust Justin's word, because Justin watches more of this shit than I do. RJ watches more of this shit than I do. I'm kind of a basic bitch when it comes to wrestling, so I try to watch other shit. But it's just like, again, nationally televised names. It's like let's go back to movies real quick. So it's like when you try to say, have you seen this movie? It got really good reviews and it made a shit ton of money and everyone in the world saw it. No, but have you seen this? Have you seen this independent film that won every single award at Sundance? That's a really good movie. It's like, well, I haven't heard of that movie. Like, why is that movie getting nominated for Best Picture over this movie when everyone actually saw it and it was critically acclaimed and it made a shit ton of money? You know what I mean? I don't know if that's the best example, but
oh yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, but I think again, what was going off, obviously it was going off a whole bunch of things as well, but I think the main thing is that, like, okay, kayfabe wise, you've been a champion for how long, right? For all we know, so let's say, for example, let's say he's been AAA Mega Champion for, I'm not saying this is what it is, but let's say he's been AAA Mega Champion for 5 years straight, right? AAA Mega Champion is like the WWE Championship or the AEW World Title equivalent, right? 5 years straight, right? We didn't really hear about him until this year, right? And all of a sudden he's top, top 7, he's at number 8, right? And a lot of people are gonna be like, I never heard this guy before. And it's like, well, this guy's been champion for 5 fucking years straight. So, kind of a bad example because he has been champion for 5 years straight. At the same time as well is that, to me, we can't discredit on talents who are very good in the ring, right? Guy has a good look. You know what I mean? He has an interesting look. He has a good look, right? And eventually, I'm surprised that AEW hasn't really tried to do anything with them as of yet, because I think he'll have some good matches in AEW. Regardless of the fact, though, I just think that at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, I think 8's too high overall, but I do think that if he was like top 10, I wouldn't really like boo and hiss about it either.
All right, fair enough. Next is number 7, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I mean,
It's Bryan Danielson. Come on.
I can't really say negative about that one. Yeah,
I love Bryan Danielson. I'll never say a bad word about him. Like he got his start in San Antonio. If anyone doesn't know that already, he's billed as being from Aberdeen, Washington, but he got to start here in San Antonio at the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. So partly he's from San Antonio. So we claim a part of him. So Bryan Danielson, I'm fine with that. I can live with it. Number 6, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
Fine with
Position wrong.
You know, he's like we mentioned, this list started in July of last year, and Cody was already a star in AEW. He was already being billed as a star in AEW. Comes to WWE, is treated like a star. So, I'm fine with that. Now we're in the top 5. All right, let's go. Number 5, Bobby Lashley.
And that's shocking. I love Bobby Lashley. Swap him with Rollins. Swap him with Moxley. One or the other. I think he's a little too high, though.
I agree with... Again, love Bobby Lashley. You know, for the past year, he's put on some of the best work of his career.
Yeah,
with the Hurt Business, being with MVP, and now he's a singles guy as a U.S. champion. He's putting on some of the best matches. Number 5, though, I don't know if I would put him in. I don't even know if I would put him in my top 10. I would. Again, I'd swap him with Rollins. I'd swap him with Danielson. I'd swap him with Cody, or who else is on this list? Yeah, I'd swap him with those guys. He should not be this high. Like,
Gresham? No, I was kidding.
I'm sorry. Who?
I was like Gresham, but I'm just kidding.
Do not say that name. Yeah, Lashley is kind of a head scratcher. And again, not because we don't like Lashley, but it's just he is a little bit too high on this list. A little bit too high. Number 4 is Hangman Adam Page.
I think he should be top 3. I think he should be top 3. He had a one hell of a year last year. He's so damn good in the ring. Like, his promo work's been getting better. Fans are behind him. Well, I mean, they were at the time. I don't know about now, but yeah, like him and Moxley are the MVPs last year for AEW to me. That's what I'm saying.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you. Here's where I'm going to disagree with you again. Yeah, Page was the AEW champion, but like the build of him being the AEW champion still didn't make sense. I mean, the whole thing of him like, you were my best friends and then you turn your back on me. I don't want to be your best friend anymore. It's like, really? You're a grown ass man. Come on. And like when they made him the champion, it didn't work. Like he's not a draw.
It wasn't his fault. It was the booking.
It was booking, but at the same, I don't know. I think we need to start like blaming the wrestlers too, and not just booking. Like I
mean, he wasn't put on TV for a little bit. Like he wasn't wrestling matches. The matches that he was wrestling against like fucking Lance Archer. Like who to believe that Lance Archer was gonna beat him? Like what the fuck?
I agree with that part because like when he became champion, there was a point where he was off TV for like 2 weeks, and it's like, okay, where's the world champion of the company? And then he had that feud with Danielson where they had those 2 fucking just amazing matches, which was the best. I forget which one it was. Was it the 60-minute draw? And that was the best. That was probably the best AEW match I've ever seen, and that was the best Adam Page match. And then after that, it's just like, why is he feuding with Lance Archer? Why is he having random matches with Dante Martin? Like, none of this works. And then he had that feud with Cole that nobody cared about. I mean, that should have been a feud we cared about, but we didn't care about. Because both guys have been booked like shit. So, I would probably keep him in the top 10 just based off of his work ethic and him being the champion and him kind of trying to get himself over, but I don't know if I would rank him in number 4. Just my opinion. Number 3, CM Punk.
Being that he got injured. He got injured in June. You know, a lot of people are salty on CM Punk right now, but I'm not trying to like, you know, I'm looking at the list for what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5. I don't know if I'll put him at number 3 though.
All right, this is going to shock a lot of people. You ready? I'm fine with him being at number 3. And I will say why. Before, you know, we all got salty on Punk again, a lot of Punk shit in AEW was usually the best part of the show. Especially his feud with MJF. I liked his feud with MJF. That was probably the best feud in AEW history, in my opinion. And then every other feud he's had, I have been fine with it because it's much better than the flippy doodah shit that we see on the show. I have not been a fan of CM Punk's, you know, where he went through that stage of I'm going to have random wrestling matches against underneath talent, and they're all going to be competitive. You know, I'm going to have a competitive match against Daniel Garcia. I'm going to have a competitive match against Matt Sydal. I'm going to try to elevate, quote-unquote, Will Hobbs. I'm going to try and work matches against Lee Moriarty. And it's like, dude, you should not be having these matches on television. Like, for one thing, Punk is 40, 43, 45, 44?
And he's up there.
And it's like, he clearly cannot keep up with today's talent. Like, I'm just going to point that out. Because, like, I don't know if you guys have been noticing, you know, he looks like he's blown up. Like he's blown up in a lot of these matches. Like, he gets gassed out really quick. Because
he's like fucking glass and he gets injured after every match.
So it's just like they put the world title on him twice, and on each occurrence, he always gets fucking hurt. Or maybe on this recent appearance, it's very convenient that he's had a shoulder? Was it shoulder or ab injury? What was it?
You talking about the first injury or second injury?
The most recent one.
I believe it's his triceps.
Oh, that just seems very convenient. So it's just like, I just don't try to put the title on this guy anymore. Like, he's not AJ. He's not going to be your Shawn, where he's going to, you know, be able to stay healthy. Like, you can't really rely on this guy. Like, he's the guy you put in the big match. But you really should not be putting the world title on this guy anymore. But him at number 3, like, he brings in the ratings for AEW. I mean, he's kind of moved the needle for him. He's brought in more people. But he's more than likely going to be gone in a few months. That's just my opinion. Number 2, Okada.
Zushka Okada. Ace. Well, I mean, his nickname's not the Ace, but he's the Ace of New Japan right now. Yeah. Deservedly so. He's definitely one of the best wrestlers in the world. I mean, like, even if, like, you don't watch New Japan, you know who Okada is. You at know that one person who's Okada. So the fact that he has that recognition worldwide, at least, and to know that he's a great in-ring talent, he can come to AEW, right? And let's say he ends up leaving New Japan one day, he comes to AEW, right? Or he goes to WWE. He will fit like a glove, right? So with any one of those companies, you know, a lot of people didn't really know who Shinsuke Nakamura was before he came over to WWE, but now Shinsuke Nakamura, he's a fan favorite. I can see the same thing for Okada if he decides to leave Japan one day and comes to the States. I don't know if that's ever going to happen though.
I actually like Okada. Like, for, you know, the matches I've seen, like those matches that he had with Omega that everyone was saying was, you know, the greatest wrestling matches that they've ever seen. And it's like, yeah, am I the only one that's going to notice that Okada was carrying that match? Or he was carrying those matches with Omega? And he had 3 matches, and one match was like 60 minutes. The other match was longer than that.
Right, an hour, yeah.
So, yeah, I think, yeah, Okada is really good. Like, he looks like a star. He looks like a comic book, you know, manga hero. He looks like a movie star. So, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, Triple H has been trying with all his might to try and sign him. You know, obviously, Tony probably wants to take a crack at him. So, I can't really say if maybe he should be number 2, but I think he's fine where he's at. I'll just agree and say he's fine at number 2.
Now here's the thing though. When it comes to Okada, now his faction is called Chaos. New Japan. Do you know who the original leader of Chaos was by any chance?
Nakamura. So the fact that him and Nakamura were friends, they're friends, right? If Nakamura stays in WWE, and I can see WWE pushing Nakamura to the moon eventually, right? Or Okada come in. So Nakamura, he becomes, let's say, WWE champion. That could definitely happen now in a Triple H era. I could definitely see that happening, right? Doesn't have to be a long title reign. Doesn't have to be like a year or 6 months. It could be like 3 months. I'm okay with the 3-month Nakamura title reign. You know what I mean? Eventually, but if Okada sees that, imagine what Triple H could do with Okada coming in. Okada is still young. I think he's like 34, something like that. Like he's not old at all. He's not old at all. So he's 34 years old. So that's still young for a wrestler. So he turns 35 this year. But I would love to see him in WWE. AEW, not really, because we've seen most of those matches already anyway, right? I would love to try to get Okada to come over for, doesn't have to be for a long contract. Have him come over for 2 years, 3 years, and just get everything that you can out of him. And you know what Triple H wants to do? He wants to take over the world with NXTs, right? So we got NXT Europe. Who's to say that if he brings Okada over, that he starts over NXT Japan? And Okada could be not necessarily, he's not going to be wrestling there or anything like that, but he could be the spokesperson for him and Nakamura for NXT Japan to get talent to come over. I think that's a very big playing card there for Triple H. Try to get Okada to come over. Now, do I really think that he will come over? After thinking about it, no, not really. But I could see it happen. If I do see it happen, I can see it play out that way for him. Yeah, who knows? He could definitely make a play for him. He made the play for Nakamura, and Nakamura, from what I've seen, is happy where he's at. He's actually happy
he's definitely happy where he's at.
He's happy to be in the WWE.
He resigned the contract because he's happy.
He resigned, and also because his family lives here and his family likes it in Florida. So, it'd be interesting to see Nakamura, not Nakamura, Okada in WWE. It'd be interesting, and I don't know. Triple H is basically the wrestling version of Elliot Ness. He knows how to get his man. So, never doubt Triple H. And number 1, as we already know, is Roman Reigns.
Disagree. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely number 1. Definitely number 1. He's the fucking man. Roman Reigns. Hands down, hands up, hands all over the place. Number 1.
Right. It's Roman Reigns. He has been carrying the company. He's been carrying SmackDown as, what looks like the A show. Now Raw is getting back to the A show, but Roman is the guy. He's been champion for over 2 years. A lot of his matches have been really good. Granted, if you want to, I know people are going to say, his matches all been the same. They all start as, his opponents getting more offense and, the Usos, interfere or blah, blah, blah. But it's just I'm looking at my list of, my favorite matches of the year, or what I think are match of the year candidates. A lot of it having to do with Roman Reigns. Same thing with last year. Same thing with 2020. Roman has had a lot of the best matches of the year. And I think with Roman, it also helps the kind of opponent you put in the ring. Because I think a lot of Roman's best matches have been against smaller guys. His feud with, Kevin Owens back in 2020 and also 2021 have been, I think was a lot of the best work of Roman's career. His feud with AJ when AJ first came to the company. Those are fucking great matches. Back-to-back main event pay-per-views. Those are great matches. Bryan Danielson. He Roman knows how to work, and also it helps when he has a good worker in the ring to guide the match. So, and again, Roman's,
Absolutely.
he looks like a comic book superhero. And he can work, he can talk, he owns the ring. And he belongs at number 1. He should have been fucking number 1 last year, but, whatever.
But I mean, also on top of that as well, like, to the point that you're saying, like, Roman, like, his matches and whatnot, pretty much, that's what, I mean, if it works, it works, and it's clearly working, right? You know what I mean? With the match quality and the intrigue, and, if something's not broken, why fix it, right? Also, as well, a lot of heels, he's a heel. You know what I mean? Like, he's supposed to have matches like that where, he gets outside interference. He's a heel. That's what heels do. You know what I mean? You know what? Like I said, Roman deservedly number 1. Character work, promo work, longevity of title reign, match quality, investment, box office appeal, everything. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Right, and Lightning, Omega was number 1 last year, and Roman was 2. All right, so that's our top 30. I was also able to get a look at who I guess not top, but like 81 through 90. So we'll just kind of skim through that. 81 was Christian Cage. 82 was Swerve Strickland. 83 was Taiji Ishimori.
Taiji Ishimori. He's very fucking good. He's very good. I like him.
Number 84 is Sami Zayn. Number 85 is Kofi Kingston.
Okay.
86 is Alex Kane.
Oh yeah, Alex Kane. Yeah. I don't know about how I'm that high. He's good though.
87 is Axel Tischer.
Can't say who I know if I know who that is.
Alexander Wolf.
Oh, that's Alexander Wolf.
Hmm.
He must be killing it on the back in the UK then for him to be that high. Okay.
Let's see. He won the WXW Catch Grand Prix, the WXW Unified Wrestling title, and the German Wrestling Federation title. Has struggled.
He must be killing it in the UK then to be that high.
Number 88 is Titan.
Wait, Strowman?
Next, see, nickname Immortal, reigned as CMLL welterweight champion for 30 months.
Oh.
So it's a different Titan.
Okay, I was like Strowman? Okay, yeah, he's good.
89 is Riddle.
Low. I think that's low for him.
Low as fuck. He should be in the top 30, in my opinion. 90 is Jungle Boy.
Low. 60. Top 70.
Ah, man. It's a crazy ass list. We'll try to get some more names from this list in later shows, but just a reminder, just gotta remind everybody. So this Saturday, we're doing the first Q&A show. It's gonna be on here. It's gonna be same time as this show, 8 p.m. Central Time. So send in your questions, and it's like you do as usual. Go on the questions tab and put in your questions, and we will read it. We'll go over it because, again, last week we did 4 hours and 40 minutes, and that was a lot of fun, but it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with.
Long.
I mean, it was long. It was really long. And I remember there was that point where I was just like, I was out of it to the point where I'm like, it was already like 1 in the morning. Or I think it was like close to being 1 in the morning. And I think I was like, remember CM Punk? Because a lot of that show had to do with, the CM Punk and Buck situation and everything else. And then questions, of course. So we just decided to make... I talked it over with Justin, I talked it over with RJ. I think I don't know if I talked about it with Ruben, but... Oh yeah, Ruben was there last week. But the Q&A portion will be its own show. Because I hate having to skim through questions. Because it just makes me feel like a dick. Because I know you guys sent in some really good questions. So we want to take our time with your questions. So Saturday, it's going to be a bi-weekly show. So like the first show of the week is going to be like in the middle of the month, and then the second show is going to be like towards the end of the month. It's going to be the last Saturday of the month. So this Saturday will be the first show for the Q&A portion. So like I mentioned, leave your questions the way you usually do in the questions for Drew tab. Or if you're not on the Discord and you're following me on Twitter, DM me your questions. You can do that, or email me. I mean, because I have an email for the show that I made and I don't think I've used, but like, I'll leave the email for the show. You guys should just email me your questions. You can do that. Like I said, nothing is off limits. You can ask us anything, and you can ask me anything. You can ask Justin whatever you want. You can ask RJ whatever you want. You can ask Ruben whatever you want. Yeah, just nothing is off limits. This is we love doing Q&A. It's always the funnest part of the show, and we get a lot, so we decided to make it its own show. So, looking forward to Saturday, guys. And like I mentioned, 8 o'clock sharp Central Time on here on this channel, and we look forward to you guys. But we're ending a little early tonight. That's weird. It's a weird occurrence.
Yeah.
We talked about everything we need to talk about. Was there anything you want to bring up, Justin?
Nothing wise. Just follow me on Twitter. Not Twitter. Jesus Christ. Don't follow my Twitter. Follow my Instagram. Spinebuster Tees. We got a lot of great shirts on the website right now. I'm working on a new design coming out. So we have the I Am the Mark t-shirt. We have Lucha's Everything t-shirt. We have the original, by the way, Just Enjoy Wrestling t-shirt. I was the originator of that shirt first. Then the guy at AEW held up a sign. Now he has the shirt, and everyone thinks he's the originator of the shirt. So, good for him, though. But I have the Future Endeavor shirt. I have the Vanilla Midget shirt. I have a lot of great shirts on SpinebusterTees.com. Check it out. Hit me up if you have any questions. And, yeah.
I was going to say, you should probably trademark that, dude. Like, since you were the first one to do it, you really should think about trademarking that term.
Well, you know. This is me, Spinebuster T versus Pro Wrestling Tees. I think I'll probably lose that battle.
I think you'll do fine, man. You'll do fine. You'll do fine.
But I'll go ahead and I'll post the link in the chat as well, so you guys can check out some of the shirts. And yeah.
All right. Well, for me, again, easy to find: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Drew Yari Show. Spreaker is the home base. You can find me anywhere, not just on Spreaker. You can find me on iTunes, Google Podcasts, YouTube if you like watching podcasts on YouTube, even though you're not really seeing me, you're just hearing me. But hey, teach yourself. I don't really
maybe we should be on camera one day. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I've kind of thought about that a few times, but I need to buy a camera because
there you go.
I had a camera, but then it broke. So I need to buy a new one. So I'll need to think about getting a new camera. But when it happens, I'll let you know. But I don't say this a lot. If you guys have any time during the day, head over to the iTunes and leave a review of the show. If you just want to leave a rating, that's fine. If you want to leave a well thought out review, that's great. But it'll be much appreciated. Another thing that'd be much appreciated is the Patreon. It's $5 a month. It gets you, it'll get you the uncut, unedited, ad-free version of this show. You can listen to. I mean, you can hear it first before it comes out to the public. So there's that. I do shows with RJ, which we just did over the weekend. Attack of the Savage Nerds. I do a show with Ruben Prime. Why am I blanking? Culture Attack. We do that show. We just did one a while ago, so listen to that. I do a show with Jeff Littman, which is usually monthly, from our lips to your ears, because Jeff Littman does like 20 podcasts. So I'm lucky he fits me into his schedule. And it's just $5 a month. You guys won't be disappointed. I know Anna is donated to it. I believe Kyle does it. So you guys won't be disappointed. You're gonna like what you hear. And spread the word. Spread the good word. Spread the good word. I mean, the more donors we get, we can maybe even do some live Patreon shows. So, yeah, just do that, man. And the more donors we get, the more tiers we get. Maybe I can start giving out some shit. You never know. But anyways, guys, this was a fun show. We're ending a little early tonight because we're saving the Q&A for this Saturday. I got to remind everybody, send in your questions, just like you usually do. And we will read them on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, live on here. But from me to Justin, or from Justin and me, good night, guys. Appreciate you guys for listening. And we'll see y'all on Saturday.
Peace.
Peace, guys.